Waking the Kraken throwback. I'm Wes Potts.
And I'm Ben Frisch, the best co-host Waking the Kraken has.
The co-host that's the mostest this week because Alex is on vacation this week.
Where's he at?
He went down to Florida to go, I think he was going fishing this weekend.
Gone fishing.
He's gone fishing on our boat. He left our boat to go fish on another boat. Which is phenomenal, I guess.
Yeah, no.
Everyone needs a break from boats. So what have you been up to, Ben? We haven't had you on in a couple episodes.
Yeah, last time you guys heard from me, I was preparing to get my own Netflix series. After
Frisch does it.
Doing jury duty, which I missed.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you did miss it. So tell us the story about how you missed this jury duty.
Well, there's not much story how I missed it. I just didn't go. I didn't go to something I was very excited about. I might be the only person I know who's excited about jury duty. But we were just sitting at work, and I was looking at the date, and I was like, oh, man. I bet today would be a good day to go to court.
Didn't you have to, how did you, so you skipped it, what's the process with missing a jury duty?
Well, if you miss jury duty, you risk a $5,000 fine, potential jail time if you do it over and over and over again, and community service.
So feasibly, you're telling me that if you miss jury duty, you may be judged by a jury of your peers who also missed jury duty, which just brings this awful cycle about.
Yeah, and once I realized I'd missed it, and I started looking up the ramifications of missing, it's like, well, I still might get to go, just not on the right side.
You'll be on the opposite.
Yeah,
you won't be on the judging side.
I will not get to judge.
So did you see the new Pokemon Cot? Have you heard of this yet?
What?
They're releasing for the Switch. They're releasing a new Pokemon.
Oh, Pokemon Go.
Well, now it's called Pokemon Cot, and it actually goes with the Go. So you in Pokemon Cot, you actually maneuver through a bunch of different. You know how you used to wander through the grass all the time? You would never know if something's there. Now you'll know exactly which Pokemon is there to know if you want to fight it or not.
I think it's called Pokemon Go Pikachu and Pokemon Go Eevee.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called?
The
I
actual
was just
names.
watching something the other day and it was called Pokemon Cot. So.
Well, they are liars.
All right.
I actually just watched it right before I came over here because I was thinking about how I've been playing this stupid Star Wars game on my phone.
I, too, have been dragged into what is it, the Galaxy of Heroes?
Galaxy of Heroes.
Yeah.
It's a terrible, grindy game. And I saw that they were making a Pokemon game that was compatible with Pokemon Go. And I realized I should have been playing that the whole time.
Yeah, I've heard so many people telling me, they're like, oh, man, have you been playing Pokemon Go?
No.
And I was just like, I haven't played that in a couple years, since it got released. And I just didn't think anything about it. Now everyone's like, oh, yeah, I'm back at it. My friends were like... And I've got to think about the one few... I'm pretty sure the only person I know is my friend Sam Langley, who has consecutively played this the whole time.
Yeah, no, it was so big when it started. And I play the mainline RPG games still.
Right.
As an adult, I still do this. And I knew if I downloaded Pokemon Go, I wouldn't have time for anything else in my life.
Oh, no, yeah. I'd be super healthy. It'd be great.
Yeah.
But, yeah, other than that, I would just be super, super boring.
Yeah, no, they're even coming out with a controller that's shaped like a Pokeball.
Yeah, I saw that. That was really cool.
And you can put your Pikachu, or whatever you want in, I assume, and based on the trailer, if you touch it, it'll make sex noises. It's actually kind of odd.
You want it, don't you? You want it. You've been talking about this Switch a lot lately.
I've been thinking about getting a Switch.
Even though your roommate has a Switch, you can't just steal his Switch.
I've been looking for a reason to get one. I don't know if this is it.
So what else is new with you, Ben? We haven't heard from you in a while. Obviously, you missed jury duty. You watched a lot of stuff on Pokemon.
Just watching Pokemon. Missing important life events. First, I want to say, I do still have a chance to go back to jury duty. And I will go, and I will be on Netflix.
Okay, so your whole thing is to be on Netflix
because
for being on jury duty.
In a very important trial.
And then they ask, aren't you anonymous if you're on jury duty though?
No, because they had the HBO show The Jinx, and they had a couple jurors on there. Robert Durst cut a man into 6 pieces and threw him in the ocean, and he got off. And they had the jurors on there like, we honestly thought he was innocent, even though he admitted it. I want to be those guys. The people watching like, what a fucking idiot.
Oh man. So. Okay. So have you seen this? Have you seen this week? I guess like Donald Trump has now announced that. Like, I guess like Rudy Giuliani said that he could pardon himself. Like Donald Trump could pardon himself, like feasibly.
And Rudy Giuliani said he won't do that because he would be immediately impeached, but he could.
Right.
He might.
I feel like that's a precedence of like that's like I tweeted at him the other day because obviously I was drunk and but like he announced this and then I was like you have 5 kids, Donald. I was like, if you gave them the ability to pardon themselves at any given moment, you would never have any, like, all your kids would be awful. Maybe they are awful. Maybe that's what he did, was he gave them all the chance to pardon themselves. But, like, that seems like basic education for children 101. They are in trouble. They get punished by someone else. They can't just be like, Your Honor, I'm going to pardon myself as the child. Clearly, I'm of a child's mindset, and I do not deserve this punishment because as a child, I don't understand things.
Yeah, well, apparently, like, people in his cabinet have been kind of, like, anonymously saying, like, he's been obsessed with the idea of pardoning since he found out that he can just do that. Like, this past month, everybody says he mentions it quite often now. And, like, I mean, Kim Kardashian met him and talked to him about, pardoning some 63-year-old woman.
Yeah, it was her great-grandmother or something like that. Yeah,
so
something
really
like that. Yeah, I saw something.
I didn't.
He also, what was it? There's the one, like, governor of Illinois or something like that, or some governor that had, like, gotten for some sex charge or something that he just pardoned too.
Yeah, I think it was something illegal funding.
Yeah.
Some governor.
I hope he just starts pardoning weird people.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
It might get more. I might actually have a more interesting time with dealing with Donald Trump if he's just started like random people. He just had a lottery. Like,
yeah,
all inmates work for a certain amount of hours a week, then like they can buy a ticket to the Trump lottery, and like he's gonna pardon someone at the end of every month.
These timelines could have meshed up with whoever I put into jail.
You could have possibly won the pardon.
Yeah,
like if you go to jail.
Yeah, but shit, what was this? Well, we're talking about pardons.
We're talking about Donald Trump pardoning.
Oh, yeah. It's like he figured out, he spent his whole life, probably buying his way out of any sticky situation.
Sure, yeah, that's what you do with lawyers.
And he found a way that he can do that without spending any money at all.
But only for the amount of time that he's in office. He does realize that, right? Like, please tell me that he's not just as like, well, old presidents can pardon people.
Yeah, but he has also, like, if he were to pardon himself, we talk about, he would be immediately impeached.
Right.
With Donald Trump, maybe not. This dude, he has gotten around things that other presidents could not.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he pardoned himself and everyone was like, man, we're going to talk about it. We might impeach you. But nothing happens.
So, okay, I watched this one video the other day, and it was by the Infographics Show on YouTube.
What's that?
It's a cartoon. Like, they basically, like, analyze things, and instead of, like, having one person in front of the screen, they just animate everything, so you can kind of, like, see.
Okay.
But anyway, the video that I was watching was a representation between McDonald's and Burger King.
Mm-hmm.
And although it sounded well and good, like, it was obviously McDonald's is far bigger than Burger King, one of the things that I wondered about was, notoriously, when you talk about McDonald's, everyone talks about how the most popular item on the menu is the Big Mac.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anyone who avidly gets a Big Mac anytime they go to McDonald's. Do you know any? Have you ever seen just like people be like, man, my favorite, he's like, I'm going to McDonald's, you guys want anything? Like, pick me up a Big Mac meal.
I'll be honest with you, I've had one once.
Yeah, I think all of us have had one as a novelty. Like, I just don't know if it's something, like, if it's their most popular thing, that means people are getting it multiple times. Because there's not just a bunch of new people every day that are going in waves to McDonald's to get Big Macs.
I think this just says something about the people that we hang around.
Maybe
we're not hanging out with the
Big
type
Mac
of
material.
With Big Mac material.
We're not hanging out with those special sauce boys.
No, none of that Mac sauce. It's It's a garbage burger, really. Like, they use the cheapest patties, 2 of them, and then they just stick another bun in there.
Yeah, it's all filler.
It's really garbage.
I was just curious about this though, because like I mean the other one made sense. I've seen people get Whoppers, like whenever they go to Burger King.
Yeah,
I've
but
seen them get
Burger
Whoppers.
King names all of their burgers like Whopper something.
Yeah, but I mean like they were talking about the Whopper.
The big one.
The big one, yeah.
Okay.
And so like I see that because like every time I go in there, I see someone eating a Whopper. So I'm like I could see feasibly how this would be their most popular
Ooh,
thing.
you're saying I don't like that word very much.
Whopper.
Whopper. Ah, that's gross.
Whopper.
This is why Burger King is slowly going out of business.
Because they just aren't updated.
It's disgusting, and I'm pretty sure they just broil all their meats and stick wet meat into a bun with some just
Yeah,
shit.
it's all charbroiled.
Yeah, it's gross.
Except maybe their nuggets. I think their nuggets are fried.
Yeah, but they're also gross because they give you the option 10 for $1 at Burger King.
Oh, you mean as opposed to like 10 for $5 at McDonald's?
Yeah, because McDonald's like, no, anything less than that, you'd just be eating cess.
You know, I was talking about this to my mom actually today when I went to lunch with her before we recorded this. I was talking about how consumers. I got into a little bit of a dark spot, but I was talking about consumers. And I was like, it doesn't matter what you say as a salesman. You could tell them literally, this is the best thing ever. And they go, is it the most expensive? And you go, no. They're like, then give me the most expensive thing. And that could be the most garbage thing ever. So who knows? Yeah. Maybe Burger King does have better chicken nuggets than McDonald's.
Well, next time I'm on, I'll bring both over and we'll have a taste test.
We'll film it. We'll put it on the WordPress.
Yeah. It'll just be us. Pretty good.
I mean, we could always just film this later this week too.
All right, let's do it.
We could do. We both work tonight. We could do it after work.
Yeah, let's do it. This kind of sucks. Like it was a joke, but now I'm like. Yeah.
But now it's a thing we have to do. It's for the people, really, though, man.
Waking the Kraken's shitty burger eat off.
It's Waking the Kraken's chicken nugget eat off.
All right.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, we're doing it.
Join us later tonight when we do our chicken nugget eat off.
Pretty good.
This one's not bad. Shit, by the time we get off, no one else is going to be open. I was going to say, should we have a third, like a wild card? But I don't think, like...
Yeah, no, I think...
Wendy's isn't going to be open. Maybe Hardee's, but I don't think they have nuggets. I think they just have strips.
Yeah, they're too expensive anyway.
Also, that totally tells everyone where we are because we didn't call it Carl's Jr.
Oh, yeah. So you were on... my podcast.
Yeah, I was on your podcast this last week.
The Bad Form podcast, which I've been talking about forever, but now it's turning into a reality. You play a character in a Star Wars RPG.
Yeah, I play a thief that is a smuggler. His name is Cass Naru. He's a human. He's basically I like to imagine him as Kurt Russell.
Yeah, no, I had a great time, and it's only episode 1. We're gonna have a couple more out. Hopefully by the next month we'll start actually posting them.
Yeah, I kept talking to Andrew yesterday. I was like, so what should we do? I was like, we gotta make sure that we have a plan while the DM's not around, and that way he can't try to fuck our plan.
Yeah.
Although I am really worried about one particular character that I think I got rid of.
The best part about being a DM of any role-playing game, I can bring back anything I want anytime because I am God.
That's true. I remember like the first one that I ever played. I played a normal Dungeons and Dragons campaign, and I played a half-elf rogue, and our dungeon master was the devil. I'm pretty sure. Like anything that we could do, it would fuck us over. Like it didn't matter if it was the right choice or the wrong choice. It was something that was going to bash you in the head.
Yeah.
It was just like this one thing with this ring. And it was just awful. Like I was like, Phil is the devil. My friend Phil, who was I'm calling you out, Phil. If you're listening to this right now, you know who you are.
You bastard.
Like you are the devil when it comes to being a DM. You know that we should have been able to take that ring without any repercussion. We didn't need to have some bimbo come up to us a day later and ask if we found someone that was carrying a ring. This is the middle of the ages. Everyone has fucking rings.
See, I guess I am different. I'm a different type of GM because I like watching people succeed.
Right.
And I'm like, oh man, I guess my plan didn't work to stop you guys.
That was
you
one
guys
thing.
are great.
Yesterday I kept getting shot at, and I could just like the other day I kept getting shot at, and then like it was just like, oh no, look, it nothing hit you.
Okay, I actually tried to make that hard, so that was just luck. But hopefully very very soon I'll come back on and we'll pitch it a little harder. But
Do you think that so we live in Middle America.
Mm-hmm.
We see how people dress when they go to Walmart.
Yeah.
Not the most flattering.
No.
So part of me the other day, when I was watching Road Warrior, I was watching all of the elaborate costumes that they have in Road Warrior, and I was like, in the post-apocalyptic wastelands of tomorrow, no one will be dressing like that. No one's going to look like they were like super gutter punk. I feel like they're all going to look like shitty people that went to Walmart.
Yeah,
like,
I think I would just for fun.
I mean, I definitely would, but I mean, there's probably like a few fashionable people that are like alive out there in the future.
Yeah.
But I feel like most people are going to be like, well, I got this Bass t-shirt and this camouflaged hat.
Middle America, low income.
Yeah.
Road warriors.
I got flip-flops because I can't find my boots. They got a hole in them.
Well, I mean, the north side of town where we live already kind of looks like that.
There's a couple. Mad Max?
No, just like that future
of
a bunch of
dystopian.
Dystopian.
I don't know. I feel like it looks more like Fallout than like wasteland desert.
Yeah. There's something I have noticed whenever I'm driving around up there because I'm dating a girl who lives on that side of town.
Ooh, from the north side of the tracks.
North side, yeah.
Becky with the good hair.
I went to private school and I'm trying to get back with my parents. So no. So if the streets are just filled with men riding very, very small bikes and women with bags filled with 2-liter sodas. That's just...
that is actually a really good observation. I've noticed that, too. It's always men with, like, BMX trick bikes.
Yeah.
And then, like, women carrying bags of 2-liter sodas.
Is that just a Middle America thing? Is that just our town's kind of...
I don't know. I feel like that's just an America thing.
Oh, that's so strange.
But it's always, like, plastic bags full of
2-liter
Mountain
sodas.
Dew.
Yes.
Maybe
it's not ever not
maybe they're their parents' they're like their brother's keeper. Like their brother's just like a dork that lives in the basement. That's like a neckbeard, and like they're just like, hey, you going anywhere? She's like, I'm gonna go to the store. And he's like, could you pick me up some Mountain Dew?
Well, there's this woman who stands in the middle of the road right outside of Rachel's house who does karate kicks at people's cars. Just while holding bags of 2-liter sodas like some kind of redneck nunchuck. And she's just like stands out there just screaming and doing karate kicks at cars.
That's awesome.
It's
funny.
Yeah, not
although
for her.
terrifying.
She's probably high as shit.
Then again, like in the central part of the town, also have you noticed that everyone rides they all ride like speed bikes? It's like the closer you get to the college, it's like the bigger and more like suited to your body the bikes are.
Yeah. No. Oh my god. There's a correlation.
Because think about it,
here.
like on the south side, it's just children with bikes, and they're about the same size, and then on the north side, it's adults with children's bikes, and then the closer you get to the college, it's adult bikes for adult people.
So what you're saying is, based on how much money you make,
there's an epicenter that always, like, college students are right at that fair line about being like the right size bike to the right size person.
Yeah, college students are buying really expensive, nice bikes.
You're ridiculous.
Like way out of their means. And then you get older and then you land in the middle class like we do.
Yeah.
And then you just get a normal bike with the regular
10
amount of
speeds.
gears. And then if you don't have any money, you're just like, well, it's smaller, so I'm sure it's cheaper.
They're all huffies. They're all huffies.
I don't know.
Oh man, yeah, but no, there was one thing that I noticed. Yeah, that's peculiar. There's a girl that does karate kicks. She
Just
kicks
karate.
cars. Does
Yeah.
she break them?
I haven't seen her hit one yet because I'm sure if she did, there'd be a problem.
Right.
Or she'd really hurt herself. But she really tries to get at it and starts swinging bags like some kind of trash tornado. Or Mountain Dew. It's just we live in a weird area.
So the other day I had me and Chloe, we went out and we watched The Cat Returns, which is the most adorable cat movie ever. If you love cats, you should watch it.
Cat Returns.
Yeah, it's by Studio Ghibli. But part of me was sitting there thinking, like, how feasible would it be for a cat to wear a top hat? Like, if you've ever seen a picture of The Cat Returns, it's this cat that is dressed to the nines like any, like, 1800s gentleman.
Yeah.
And he's got a cane.
Monocle.
I think he has, like, the little glasses that, like,
Okay,
fit
yeah,
at the end
yeah.
of the nose. I think he has those. And all of that makes sense to put on a cat, except for the top hat, because where do their ears go? They should go underneath the hat, but they pop out the top, and then I'm like, how is that hat staying on top of that silly cat's head?
What do you mean they pop out the top?
Like, it's just like, okay, so like, you know, like with a hat, like on a normal person, where like you have it, like their ears are right outside of the flap.
Yeah.
But that's not how that you would put a hat on a cat. You'd have to cover it up.
Cat in the Hat. You're just thinking of Cat in the Hat.
No, that's what the cat return looks like also. Except minus the red and white striped cap.
Yeah, and his two
Oompa
white
Loompa,
trash friends.
These two evil monsters.
Riding small bikes.
So okay, obviously last week I saw Solo. I gave my opinion on Solo and stuff like that last week. However, you are someone that actually has an opposition belief to my belief, which I was not as keen of a fan of it, but you're a bigger Star Wars fan, and so obviously you can explain some things in Solo that maybe I didn't appreciate.
Okay, what didn't you appreciate about Solo? Because I've seen it 2 times now. I will be seeing it again this week.
Really?
Yeah. You got to see them while they're in theaters, man.
The first 20 minutes of the movie, I just wanted to walk out on.
Okay,
it didn't
yeah,
feel like a Star Wars film. There was nothing that was analytical towards Star Wars at all to me. I thought that the monster, not the monster, but like the main, like
the crime boss,
crime syndicate boss, was weird for that planet.
Yeah.
Like, how did that person get so much? Like, I feel like you need to have like a goon with some strength somehow to like threaten these people. Like, how does a person that's like a vampire?
I don't want to talk about the first 20 minutes because I agree with you. When I was sitting there, I was like, okay, well, this is why I didn't come into the movie with any expectations whatsoever, because I knew that they would make, a bad movie. But as the movie progressed,
I thought it got more fun as it progressed. I just didn't think like it was. I don't know. I felt like it was lackluster compared to a lot of the other ones. I thought it was very fun and kind of poppy, but it was very Disney and almost felt like Marvel. Like, you know how like they kind of ruined Marvel by putting too many jokes and stuff in it?
Yeah.
It kind of felt like that.
Yeah, I mean, at least compared to The Last Jedi, at least some of the jokes landed for me in this movie.
Right.
With The Last Jedi, the humor is what kind of killed the movie for me. I still like the movie. I'm not like the rabid Star Wars nerds who just shit on that movie.
Right.
And, blame Kathleen Kennedy for trying to make an SJW, think piece and whatnot. It's a movie. It's not great. It's not my favorite. And Solo's not my favorite either. I'd still say it's,
second favorite. Definitely top 2.
Definitely top 2. My favorites, because I like vampire worm monsters.
See, this is where we differ. I don't like that
I
at
like
all.
vampire worm monsters. As soon as she left, I was like, okay, I guess we can go home now.
Is she going to come back?
I hope she comes back. Fingers crossed.
The
movie was fun. I went in with no expectations because I went in with expectations of Last Jedi and got a little bit disappointed.
So, how do you think that the next movie is going to, how do you think they're going to resolve all of the things that are going on in the third Star Wars incarnation?
I have no idea, to be honest. I know what I want them to do.
What do you want them to do?
I want them to make a time
Theories.
gap. Honestly, they missed out on a really big opportunity to introduce some characters for the last movie,
right,
for episode 9, where now they're going to introduce the Knights of Ren.
Right.
And it's going to be like, okay, who are these guys and why did you kill them?
I do kind of wish they would announce the Knights of Ren earlier. You saw a clip of them.
You saw a clip, and that's really what...
That's really what I wanted.
That's what The Last Jedi should have been. It should have all been set up for a really big ending, where if you watch The Last Jedi and then watch Return of the Jedi, there are more similarities between those two movies than there are Empire and The Last Jedi.
Right.
That movie has endings for almost everybody and then just takes it away.
I really wanted to see... I kind of think that they're pushing... My theory is they're pushing this idea of nullifying the Force with the gray kind of style.
Yeah.
I feel like that's being pushed really heavily in a lot of clips that I've seen from Rebels and from some of the Clone Wars that I watched and stuff like that. So I have a feeling that what's going to happen is they're going to both destroy the Sith and Jedi Order by just making one Force Order.
Yeah, and that's fine, but there'll always be opposition, and Star Wars
Sure.
can continue. The reason why I understand why some people don't like Star Wars is because, unlike Star Trek,
Which
if
I
there's
love.
if there's not something to shoot at, you don't really have much story. The story it's hard to make more.
Right.
And with a fan base that just wants the same thing over and over again, it's hard to do that.
Do you think it's more the nostalgia that people want over and over again, or do they actually want the same story over and over again? Like, I
No,
feel like
because
it's like they want to
the-
feel like they were whenever they found out that Luke is the like Vader's Luke's father kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like when you're like 7.
And that's why people were so upset about Rey. It's like, well, we were supposed to find out that she's related to somebody.
Kenobi.
Just like how Luke Skywalker, we found out he was related
Do you
to
want to know
somebody.
the weirdest theory that I've heard recently? There are people out there that believe that Mace Windu is Snoke.
Yeah.
It's the weirdest one that I watched a
there were some
whole
weird
video
ones.
on that.
Yeah,
like,
and that's why I'm glad Snoke's dead.
yeah,
Just-
well, he might not be.
Yeah, that's true. It doesn't matter. But talking about Solo, doing the standalone movie for Star Wars, they need to figure something out because they could eventually do what Marvel's doing and make too much.
Right.
You know, and they, for some reason, I don't know why they did this, releasing it in May when everybody kind of goes to see Star Wars in the winter. We didn't get our first trailer for 3 months before the movie. The movie didn't do well.
Right.
You know, and Disney, I don't know if they're going to have a knee-jerk reaction and kind of be like, well, maybe we shouldn't do standalone movies anymore or what, but if they do, they have to do it differently.
I think they should take lesser known characters, like characters that don't have as much of a backstory to them.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that. You know, they're like one of the biggest complaints, and most anything is like, why did this story need to be told in a fiction that I love?
Right.
You know, why did we need a Han Solo movie? And the thing is, like, every time they introduce a new character and people fall in love with it, like, you didn't know you wanted that story until you got it.
Well, I think the other thing is Han Solo's an easy character. He's the one
He's
that was like
really easy.
The thing is, like, he's everyone's favorite, at least from the first ones. Like, it was always that.
Yeah, Han Solo was a weird choice. I had fun with the movie. I really hope that they do a Boba Fett movie and kind of make like a smuggler crime syndicate trilogy
Yeah.
with him and Han Solo. Not in the same story, just going back and forth kind of.
I watched a lot of 1950s infographic, or not infographic, 1950s like informational movies that they would show you in like school.
Yeah.
I watched a lot of those the other day. I learned a lot of things about the world of the 1950s. And it's strange to think, like, whenever you watch those, you know that they're real, but they also feel more like fiction than like
Yeah.
reality. There was one that I was watching, and it was like How to Get a Girlfriend. And I was like, A, why are they showing this in school? But B, also, like, they were showing, like, Billy thinks that he wants to have a date to this thing because he got an extra ticket. And then he's like, Billy thought maybe he should ask Sandra for a date. Sandra's so very pretty, and she takes a lot of time to look on her looks. Billy realizes he's not the caliber of man that Sandra would ever want to go out with. And it was just sad. Like, there was like that. And so he, like, goes for Betty, and, like, Betty's just a little bit, like, homelier and stuff like that. I was like, this is ridiculous.
So it was like teaching young boys, like, don't go above your number.
Yeah, it's like,
Don't do it.
hey, boys, did you ever think that a girl's a hottie? She's not gonna care about anything but you unless you're, like, funny and you have money.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Maybe that's where all of our problems have come from over the past, like...
Because our parents probably watched that and they were like, all right, well, I'm going to settle. And now those are my parents, two people who settled. And I'm just the, you know, the spawn of two settled people. And am I destined to settle? Am I destined to, you know, strive for something greater than myself?
The other one that I watched was there was one on it was I think it's the one that I started off on. It was 1950s infographic movie on homosexuals, and I was like, okay, now I have to know what they...
yeah.
Because I was like, I knew, like, back in the 60s it was still, like, considered, like, a mental problem and stuff like that.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, like,
Huh.
it was, like, in like, the book of psychology and stuff like that, like, homosexuality is conceived deviant sexual behavior.
Okay.
But, so I watched it, and I realized very quickly in this whole watching of this episode, of this, like, movie, that it had nothing to do with homosexuals at all. It had everything to do with pedophiles. Like, it was almost as if, like, they were just like, we can't use the word pedophile, just use homosexuals instead.
Yeah.
Because that was what it was. It was like, once again, the kid I think was named Billy. They're always Billy. Like, it was like, Billy went to play in the park, play basketball with his friends, and he met a guy that, like, it was like he didn't want to go home, or he didn't want to walk home, so he decided to hitchhike, and this one man picked him up, and he, like, was just talking to him.
Yeah, you like gladiator movies?
Yeah.
You like hanging out in the locker room?
Have you ever been in a Turkish prison? Like,
you ever been in the cockpit before?
Like, yeah. And so there was that, and then, like, I guess, like, he took him fishing, and it was funny because he was just like, he took him fishing and then showed him weird erotic photos, and I was like, what? Like,
oh God. So are they? Did people in the '60s just equate gay men with pedophiles?
yeah, apparently all gay men just want to fuck little boys.
South Park made an episode about that.
But I wanted to, I was like, it was weird. I was like, this isn't about homosexuals at all. This is just about pedophiles, and no one is going to agree that pedophiles are okay.
Yeah. Huh. Maybe that's why that generation's like, oh, you can't be gay because
you'll probably just want to touch little boys. Yeah, I mean, maybe that's it. Yeah, it's like that's the stuff they watched in school, and they're like, well, we can't really like gay people because the Bible and pedophilia is weird.
Yeah.
But it was just weird to watch all these, because I kept watching more and more, and I was just waiting for some of them to, like, give the Reefer Madness kind of ending about communism, where they're like, and it's happening in your house, and maybe even your house. I also wanted those, like, ones. I didn't get to see any of them, but I really wanted those ones that you always see, like, made fun of on TV shows, where it's like, this is Ike, and this is Joey, and Ike does these things all right, and Joey is a screw-up loser. Like,
no,
I wanted to see those. Maybe I have to look those up, too. Like, I'm gonna have to look up these, like, just, like, 50s work videos.
Billy's going to the dance with Sandra, 2 points above his level, and David's taking a boy fishing. Who do you want to be?
Who would you rather be? Well, if you accept communism, you're gonna go fishing with that weird erotic photo dude every week. But yeah, so that was one thing that I thought about and stuff like that. Guys, we're really sorry this week that we don't have any super fight. Obviously, that's left on the Nautilus, and the Nautilus got stolen. This is the Esposito. One thing that I will end on this week and stuff like that is, Ben, do you got anything else you want to tell us about anything? You got anything new going on? You got anything excellent?
Just stay tuned for Bad Form podcast stuff.
I'll try to link it in, like, on the website and stuff whenever you do get it up and everything like that. So
no, it's gonna be fun. We had a fun first episode.
Nice.
And that's only gonna get better. That's the weird thing about those RPGs. First episode's very awkward. Actually, session.
I felt very awkward on that RPG at first because I'm like, I don't really. I'm not as big into Star Wars as clearly Andrew or Colin was, and so it's just like you'd say things like, I have no idea what this fuckhole looks like.
Yeah, no, it gets easier and better, and that's just RPG session of anything.
Yeah,
it's always just a hard intro in.
Yeah,
but we're gonna get it.
All right, well. Star Wars RPG podcast. Is it going to have another name? Is it going to be called Bad Form?
It's going to be called Bad Form Podcast.
Bad Form Podcast. Check out Bad Form Podcast coming this November. At least it should be out by this November.
Hopefully. If it's not...
If it's not out by this November, I'm going to steal all of them and release them myself.
Yes.
Under Moth Brothers, and then it won't be called Bad Form. It will be called something way more different. Probably like another W word. All right. Thank you for joining us this week, guys. Have a good one.
See ya.
Okay, goodbye.